So if it's your first time watching this live, sorry, I'm very sorry because it's very my first time to going live in YouTube. So I try to learn and improve at the same time. So by the way, I made a live yesterday during the CPI announcement, but this live was a poor quality. I had some issue, so excuse me for that. So I try to improve, as you can see. So I learned some tips to have a better quality this time in live streaming. So hopefully this live will be a good, I mean, more quality than the previous one. Okay. So up. Okay, so we have PPI announcement in a couple of minutes. So in 10 minutes to be precise. So in the following the CPI yesterday, we had a soft CPI, which could lead to a soft GXY, a soft dollar, because the idea of cutting rates is could be in the table for central banks. So I saw someone talk about gold going up. Someone talk about going up. It's a possibility. Let's check gold because if you had if you have a soft CPI, soft inflation, gold or precious metals in general like this type of environment. So yeah, there is a possibility that we could see some sort of uptrends in gold, even in silver, I think. But silver, I don't like the structure in silver. Is for me is kind of like ranging right now, so I prefer to stay away and get a better technical structure. So my main focus will be, as you if you watch my pro stream yesterday or this week in my weekly market outlook, my main focus will be on Euro USD. By the way, I already took some position. Let me go to Euro USD. I still have some issue with my stream. So what did they say? Yeah, it seems like my GPU, my graphic card is not good enough to support the stream. Yeah, probably I will change the PC. So yeah, we will see that later. So my main focus, as I said, is on Euro USD. So as you can see, I had compared to the yesterday, I had some position on this trade because I still think with softer inflation, even a softer PPI, we could see Euro USD going up and finally target this imbalance and this zone right there. So that's why I want to maintain this trade. So as I said, as long as we are not breaking this low, I still want to see Euro USD going up. Okay, because this is my structure. Clearly, this is my structure. So price is currently in between this high and this low. So taking a buy in a lower prices will be very good for higher for a good risk reward to the upside. Okay, so that's pretty much it. We have the news in a couple of minutes. PPI yeah, in pretty much 5 minutes. So let's see what will happen here. Right? Yeah, in pretty much 5 minutes. So let's. Mm, yeah, by the meantime, we we can discuss about other pairs I had in my watch list for this week. I had CAD GPY, as I said. I found a setup to the upside, but I need to wait some retracement towards this sort of demand right here in discount before going higher. I like this trade because yen is weak. In Canadian dollar, for Canadian dollar, we started to see some strong data. I believe it was at the end of the last week, yeah, about jobs data. We started to see some strength coming from the Canadian economy. So lower unemployment rate, some couple of harder job, more than expected, which could lead to a strong Canadian dollar. So I like it to the upside. So I put some highlight here. So maybe we will get this set up for the next week. I don't know, but I still have my highlight here, and I want to see the upside. Okay. So if we see, for example, yeah, the trend is up on weekly time frame. Daily, I'm bullish from this low to this high. So we have some sort of retrace towards discount zone somewhere here, and then a little bit of shift of structure. So for me, this is a signal to me to that we could potentially continue higher. So I have this trade, and I keep it in my mind. So let's see. The next one is pound AUD. So pound AUD, very interesting because fundamentally the Aussie is weak and the Aussie is strong. Excuse me. Fundamentally the Aussie is strong, and the pound, the economy of in United Kingdom starting to pick up a little bit, but it's not so strong. But what I wanted to see as a setup this week is already past, is just in 1 hour. I was looking to sell this pair after, you see, we break this structure in Tuesday, so yesterday, retest around the weekly open. This orange, can see this orange is the weekly open, the indicator I used to mark up the opening of the week. So we open at this level. So for me, I wanted to see a retest and then short the market, but I missed this trade. I miss it. So I and then I was already into Euro USD trade. So I let the trade run, but as you can see, this was a good call out. We pretty much, this trade pretty much play out very well. So for me, for this week, I don't want to try to take a reverse buying setup. So for me, I will remove it for from the list, at least for this week. So I will pass it to the my red list. Okay. So then we have the euro old. Euro old is pretty much the same setup. I was looking to short this pair after the break of structure of this low. I was wanted to see some retest. If I zoom in, you can see I put some alert here, but I never price never triggered my entry. So yeah, the trade goes without me again. So it is what it is. I missed this trade also. So for me for this week. I will remove from my watch list. So then Aussie, same thing. Aussie dollar play very well also. So as I mark up, as I said in my weekly market outlook, I wanted to see some retracement around this level. See this line, white line, this represents a support I mark up in higher time frame. So I wanted to see some rebounds off of this support and then buy. It seems like the trade also played very well, so I also missed this trade. So I don't want to be too much exposed on major dollar pairs. If I already enter in Euro USD, so taking a AUD USD will be not a good idea for me. So we started to see some movement. It seems like PPI announcement was released. Let's go check PPI. Yes. So let's see. Yes, 0.2% core PPI month on month. Soft. It comes out softer than expected, which is very good for our scenario on Euro USD. Let's go back to Euro USD. So we started to see some bullish movement coming. So let's see on financial juice. Let me, yeah, financial juice. Yes, you can see the PPIs comes out as I expected, softer. And when you see US core PPI year on year, softer than expected. Core PPI month on month, same. And PPI, yeah. So pretty much the the news comes out as expected. So more than I expected. So we expect a soft inflation. For me, it was pretty much logic because most of the time when you have CPI, which is the inflation in consumer side, you have soft CPI. Usually, we get to have a soft PPI. So for me, it's pretty much logic because this PPI is just inflation, but in the production side. So see if the inflation in the production side is up, it means that there is a high chance that in the consumer side we could have some higher prices. So same thing, we have soft inflation in the production side, we could expect soft inflation in the consumer side. So for me, it's pretty much logic. So that's why I maintain this trade. I already, if you follow my last live, I already had some position in anticipation because I do it for experience. So I already trade PPI, CPI many times. So I know when I have soft CPI, there is a high chance that we could get a soft PPI. So I try to anticipate it. So and put some trade last night. So I'm already in the trade. So it's not a financial advice, but for me, it's just my experience. So I feel that this market could continue to go up. But remember, in higher time frame, long term, I'm bullish on the dollar. Let's go to the weekly time frame. I'm still bullish. Why? Because we still have in monthly time frame the price is distributing around this bullish channel. Okay, we pretty much rebounds off of this monthly demand right there. So we have some sort of buyers enter here at the bottom of the channel. So for me, if I measure the last, I will say this last leg, weekly leg. So for me, I want to see a retracement in long term. I will talk about the long term. I want to see some retracement towards this premium zone somewhere here. You see, we have imbalance, we have some supply, we even have extreme supply right there. So at least I want to see some retracement around this 50% right there. So that's why in long term I still want to see the GXY bullish. But based on recent data, I'll talk about the in the beginning of the month the last NFP report, which comes out very weak. We had a weak PMI ESM, and then yesterday we have weak CPI, and then today we have another weak PPI. So for me, all this information let me think that we could potentially see some weakness on the dollar. That's why I position myself on buy, on long, on Euro USD. Okay, so very important to mix technical and the current fundamental analysis that what is happening right now. Okay, so um, if I will get rid of that, so long term I'm bullish, as I explained in my last weekly market outlook, but on short term I want to short the dollar. Simple as that, because it seems like price doesn't want to break this level. See this resistance, so we reject many times this resistance. We also have this surprise which was caused after the NFP, you see. So for me, yeah, there is a I want to see some drop on the dollar. I'm bearish on short term, and maybe when price will reach this zone, which could be the, if I measure this last 4 hour leg, this zone will be the discount price. And maybe if we maybe next week, I don't know, after 2 weeks, we could see some reversal right there to realign with the higher time frame trend. This is where I will be. If I have a signal, I will be bullish again. But right now, based on the fundamental and the macroeconomic data, I'm bearish on dollar. Okay, so I mark up this imbalance where price could potentially reject before going lower before the end of this week. So let's go down to the 1 hour. 1 hour, as you can see from the beginning of this week, my bias is bearish clearly. So we started to see some structure bearish. You see we break, we close below this low. This is just a retracement toward premium zone, and then I want to see a continuation to the downside. Okay, that's pretty much my analysis on the dollar, my direction right now. So the new support my analysis. That's this type of confluence I like. So bearish on dollar. Let's go check how the USD is working. So yeah, we came back retest. If I measure this last leg, came back retest discount price. So yeah, I'm expecting a rebound. I'm expecting a rebound off of this discount zone to the upside. Okay, so based on the data, I yeah, I want to target higher prices somewhere here. So this will be my first target. This represent what the imbalance in, I think it is on weekly time frame. Yeah, this imbalance right there. I think we could potentially fill this imbalance first and maybe retest higher prices. We will see. But remember, the 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 higher time frame is bearish. Let me see here on daily. This is the structure in daily time frame on Euro USD. So we are bearish on daily time frame from this high to this low. So I am expecting some sort of rebounds off of this support right there. This line represents my support. You see, this is the support. So I'm taking advantage of some rebounds off of this support to be able to buy to the upside. Okay. Mm, 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 mm. So I have some target here. I talk about this imbalance, and then we also have another imbalance here in premium price where we could potentially target also. So yeah, for the end of the week, I want to see a bullish movement. Let's see if we don't have another high impact news for the rest of the week. So we are on Wednesday. We have Canadian dollar in a couple of hours. So this, I don't think this will affect my Euro USD trade. So maybe this could affect my CAD GPI. Very interesting. As I said, I want to see some retracement here before engaging in the buy. So I will keep my eye on what happened here. Okay. And then we have interest rates. So yeah, it seems like Canadian dollar want to maintain their rates. Okay. Fifth interest rate decision of the year. Okay, we see. So we have some crude oil inventory. So very interesting. Let's check the US oil. US oil. So we start to see some rebounds on US oil. So this, I think this was caused by some I think we have some tension again in the Middle East. I don't know. Yeah, Trump almost is open to oil ship traffic. Yeah, yeah, the tackle. Yeah, we go again with the tackle. Because I think the the deal was the peace deal was signed. After the peace deal was signed, we observed some lower prices on oil, which is very very good for economy because we don't want to see U.S. oil approaching the $100 barrel. So this is an expensive price for oil and global economy in general. This is where price of oil higher prices bring inflation, and I think that's pretty much why a lot of central banks start to hike their rates because of this tension in the Middle East. So with higher prices, so we don't want to see price return on higher prices. So I will keep my eyes on the evolution of the oil because if this continue to push, we could see the gold continue to going lower because higher price in US oil will means hiking rates. On hiking rates is not very good for precious metal like gold and silver. So keep that in mind. So I will keep my eyes on US oil, and this tension we will start again in the Middle East. So yeah, Trump on July at the beginning of the reinstating the Iranian blockade. So yeah, we still have some tension again, even though we had a peace deal signed. So we still have some tension. So yeah, be very very careful on this market. Trump have agreed to Iran talk, but US has stated to them in no uncertain time that ceasefire is over. Yeah, ceasefire is over, but we continue to have some tensions. That's crazy. That's very crazy. But it is what it is. Hopefully, we this situation calm down and we could return in a nice trade and trading environment. So yeah, let's check Euro USD. So I still have position on Euro USD. I had some more position. So this is the trade of the week. see we started to push. So yeah, I expect it to target these highs here and maybe this next week or maybe at the end of this week. So we will see. And back on what I was saying, yeah, on higher time frame USD I'm bearish, but we could potentially see a retrace towards this supply zone right here, or even in the point of control from the last month is a zone where I could see price came over. So on 4 hour, on 4 time frame, what do we have? Yeah, the 4 hour structure also is bearish. You can see price is distributing on this channel to the downside, but as I said, I think we are oversold on based on the recent data on inflation. We could potentially see some reverse. If I measure this, you see we barely touched the 50% here. So I'm expect a return above the 50% somewhere here in premium price, maybe tapping this supply zone right there. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to the 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour we started to see some push. Very interesting. So yeah, this is the only trade I will monitor this week, and I will be happy with that. So let's continue with the rest of my watch list. I talk about AUD. AUD we already tapped the target, so I was supposed to enter here, but I missed the trade. So pretty much we are at the end of the target of the week. So I will remove it from the list. Go back to the red list. NZD, same thing. For NZD USD, I was expecting some retrace, maybe in the lower prices somewhere here before into this market, but price decide to stop right there, retrace right there in the point of control from the last year, which is also a powerful zone, and rebounds off of this zone. So yeah, there is nothing I could do here. I missed the trade. So yeah, also I'm expecting to target this high somewhere here. We pretty much at the target, so not very interesting for me anymore for this week. So I'll remove it. And then we have USD yen. So USD yen is very particular because the yen is weak, very weak. Because if we check, for example, the Japanese yen basket, you can see on higher time frame, yeah, the trend is very to the downside. So yen is very weak. So for me, uh, buying the yen is very a suicide for me right now. So that's why see we are very at the bottom of the chart. So maybe expect some intervention of the Bank of Japan to push their currency to the upside. So and then we could potentially have some bearish price on USD yen. But right now USD yen is the only pair I am afraid of. So yeah, I talk about in my last weekly market outlook that we could potentially see some retracement to the downside targeting this low, but buying the yen is not a good idea for me because this thing could easily continue to break to the upside without giving us a retracement to the downside. So yeah, I'm staying away of this pair. Yes, I mark up this setup stop about here, but I will not get into this trade. Okay, what I prefer on USD yen is because this is the structure on daily. I'm bullish from this low to this high. I'm expect some retracement in lower prices in premium in discount zone somewhere. Yeah, this is where I mark up a potential setup. So I want to see some retracement in lower prices before engaging in a buy again, because the on higher time frame the trend is up. So this doesn't make sense for me to sell this knowing that the yen is very weak. So yeah, for the moment I will remove it because I will not trade it anyway, so I will remove it from my watch list. So yeah, staying with the CAD yen. So I'm waiting potential retracement before insert this trade. Remember, we have some news. Yeah, the interest rate, and this is, I think, this is inflation data for the next week. So yeah, we could potentially see some entry here, maybe at the end of this week or the next week. So this trade, I will keep it on my watch list, this setup. Okay, so that's it for the trade I'm looking for. So back to the Euro USD. So yeah, the trade is currently running. That's it. So hopefully this live is better than the previous one, because I try to improve with this one. The last live, the previous live was a poor quality. I didn't know what I'm doing yesterday, so hopefully this one is a good one. So up, 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 up. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Okay. We have pretty much make 1 hour and half of video streaming. Yeah, the Euro USD trade is still running. It seems like I will let this trade at least to the end of the week to see how this will develop. So before ending this stream, let's check. I think we have another impact news on Canadian dollar in a couple of minutes. Let me refresh this. Right. Okay. Refresh. Yeah, in pretty much 1 minute, we have interest rate on Canadian dollar. So let's see if this will move Canadian dollar pairs. And then we have later on Kevin Wash testimony. Okay, I think I will already ended this stream after this this announcement. Okay, in 30 seconds, let's see what the BOC, Bank of Canada, will print. So we expect a hold on interest rates. So let's see. For example, I have, as I said, KGP, GPY, CAD yen on my list. So let's see how this will react. Go to the 1 hour. So let's see. Nothing. Nothing happened. Yeah, no surprise. So we are in hold on interest rates from the Bank of Canada. So don't expect too much. Uh, what? Yeah, pretty much nothing happened. So I think the next move will be next week on inflation data next week, July 20. So yeah, expecting some retracement before buying this pair. I will be bullish on this one, considering that the yen is weak. So pretty much that's it for the week. I don't see another opportunity. Let's go check quick the gold. Yeah, gold is pushing up as I expect. Yeah, for me to be bullish on gold, I need some confirmation. You see this structure, I need some break of this structure. I need price can break through this point of control from the last week and hold above before starting to buy, targeting this level. So if I don't get that, so I will stay away of this instrument. Okay, so we still have this demand which is holding price. So as long as we are not breaking this low, I think we could continue to push to the upside, because I think we are at least oversold. Yeah, on daily. This is the daily structure. So expect some sort of rebounds. Maybe after that we could short towards this level. So I explain it on my weekly market outlook. If you want to the full analysis, go check the last weekly market outlook. Yeah, I released 2 days ago. So pretty much every Sunday night. All right, so that's pretty much it. For I made almost 1 hour and a half of stream, so it's pretty good for the first time. So I will end the stream here. So by letting my trades run, we started to see some bullishness. So yeah, I'm more like a swing trader. I like to let my trade run over 1, 2, or multiple days and doing other stuff aside. So I have a job aside, I can do other stuff. I don't like to to be glued in front of my screen watching charts every day. No, I don't like this type of trading. I prefer to swing trade. I do my analysis. I define a direction based on fundamental and technical analysis, and then once I find a setup, I put my limit order or my entries and let the trade run. It will take the it will take a lot of days to achieve the target. It's okay. I'm okay to let it run. So I will be back, I think, for the rest of the week. We don't have high impact news. Maybe coming on Thursday to check the trades around the unemployment claims. Reuters says, let's see if this could how this could impact, but I don't think we could have a high impact news. So yeah, but I will connect around New York session to see how Euro USD is going. So, but by now I will let this trade in swing position. My direction is clear. I want to see price in going in premium prices. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I have nothing much to say. So the Dixie, the DXY, as I said, I want to see. I will close some partial on Euro USD once we tap this level and this level first. This this is my target on the XY. I want to see at least target this zone at the end of the week. Once we target it, I will get out some position on Euro USD. So that's it. Maybe next week, if we fall here next week, we could potentially see some strength coming from the dollar, but we are not there yet. So my short-term bias is bearish on DXY. Okay, so that's pretty much it. So I try to make I this is my first live. I make a live yesterday. Today is the second live of the channel. So I think this one is much better than the previous one because I have some issue in the in the last live. So I try to be better and improve on my material to give some good quality stream. Okay. So yeah, back to what I'm saying. I was able to make some stream this week because I was in holidays. I took some holidays day off of my job, so I have some time. I have some free time. So when I have some free time, I can make some live stream to for the channel, but it's not always like I will do live streaming every day. No, it's not like that. I prefer because I'm very busy. I work outside. I have a 9 to 5 job, so throughout all the week I'm busy. I'm working, and maybe I only have the weekend to make some weekly market update outlook for the upcoming week, and then sometime I work at home. So when I work at home, I could potentially make some day trades if I see one. But usually I am more like a swing trader. So if I want to explain it like that. So that's it. This is the end of the stream. I will keep this USD update maybe in shorts or maybe at the next weekly market outlook for the next week. So yes, hope you enjoy it and be careful on the market. It was Josue, the part-time trader. I see you soon. I'm out.